Well, Carrie, we finally have been able to get out of the RV. Welcome back to Life Redesigned. Today, Carrie, we are in Sarasota, Florida.
Yep.
And we're hanging out here down by the Bay Marina.
We're choosing a yacht.
Yeah, we're just randomly just picking out which yacht we want to take for a ride. Now, the reason we're so excited to get out of the RV is, well, we've been dealing with a little bit of health issues. Before we cover that, I got a lot of stuff I want to cover today. Before we cover that, let's walk over here. So, one of the things that Carrie and I did while we were in Key West is we decided, hey, let's have a couple of drinks and break our diet. In the last video, we had alluded to that. And, well, Carrie, we found out that we had a severe reaction to gluten as part of our carnivore diet. We had eliminated pretty much everything. We're eating just whole meats and stuff like that. We introduced gluten in the form of a half-pound cookie apiece and some pizza. And my sciatic issues came back. Carrie had some other issues there as well. So we're kind of like on this reset. And one of the things about this lifestyle, especially if you work full-time, is that just like being in a traditional home, you can get into ruts, right? Very simply and very quickly, you end up falling into this thing, and any kind of health problems become amplified. And one of the beautiful parts about this lifestyle is that you get the hell out of there when the shit hits the fan and start realizing that you're having problems. I know for me personally, when we're having health issues and stuff like that, it gets amplified. You start having issues with anxiety, some things with depression, and all those things tend to build up. And at a certain point, if you don't realize it, it can consume you. Carrie's pretty good at saying, hey, you're being an ass, we need to get out, and that's what we do. So one of the things in getting out and trying not to be an ass is to come out here and see what's in the area. And sometimes, again, traveling, you forget sometimes just to stop. This marina is absolutely beautiful. And this is right in the city of Sarasota. And you see a nice little walking the dogs. And we'll probably take a walk over here.
I chose our yacht.
Carrie's already chosen our yacht.
See it in the corner?
And she's picked one way out there.
Way out there in the corner. It's like 3 stories.
And it's only
beautiful.
Probably only about $2 million. It'd be fine. But the big thing we wanted to check out is this statue. Now, this statue was moved here a little while ago. It used to be apparently another part of town. But this is called Unconditional Surrender. And I think at some point we've all seen this image. I believe the original photo was taken in New York. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me below, but this thing is massive and very well done.
Hey, you want me to take your picture?
And apparently it's a very big photo spot. Now, this image is, interestingly enough, become controversial over the years too, for several reasons too. But this here was to celebrate the spontaneous surrender of the Japanese, ending the war in 1945. Now, this again is a massive, massive structure, but it's just absolutely well done. And yeah, look at that. Wow, really cool. And sometimes, you know, sometimes as we get over here, I'm gonna go back in front of this again. Sometimes, Carrie, we forget to take a stop and see some of this stuff. because unfortunately, unlike a lot of the bigger channels will have you believe, life isn't always a field trip. It isn't always an adventure and always a tour. But when you do have the time, get out, whether you're living in an RV lifestyle or you're living in a traditional lifestyle, get out of the house. Force yourself to at least maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, get out of the house, even if it's just to visit something in your neighborhood. And Carrie and I used to actually do that when we owned our house. We would actually just walk around the neighborhood and take a look and see. And sometimes you take a different side street or whatever, just to see something a little bit different, because you have to get out because the walls will just eat at you. It's crazy. But for those of you who don't get to see this kind of stuff that often, this is actually pretty cool. And you see all the boats out here on the Marina. And look at this. Look at these boats. Absolutely amazing. And the amount of money. I always find it funny that Carrie always stays on this side whenever
that scares me.
Whenever I cross a dock or some kind of stuff.
All set.
Carrie will she has that deal. So now one of the things that we need to address here now is looking over Google Analytics. Okay, so now every once in a while you hear this from some of the other channels. We'll talk about what the viewer counts, viewer views, stuff like that, and they always end up with a derogatory statement, and it's always in a negative light. But we aren't experiencing that. As a matter of fact, you guys are amazing. Did you know, Carrie, for instance, on our videos, okay, the average amount of views are broken down. Subscribers account for 87% of our views. That is incredible. Normally, you don't see that kind of number, especially on a smaller channel. Pretty cool. Now, that being said, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we ask that you do. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. And you get to see all this stuff. But look at this. This is a nice little marina. Nice little park. Let's go down and see what's on the other side. As Carrie's still pointing out boats. And I was looking at this now, for those of you who are unaware, Carrie is fortunate enough to be married to a pontoon boat captain. So I've actually captained a few of these pontoon boats. This one here is actually pretty cool with a slide and the upper deck. So we've actually rented a couple of those in Tampa, and we've done a couple of little journeys out there in the pontoons. But I will say it's nice to be out in Florida, especially in the waterways. Now the problem becomes, I think we've stayed in Florida a little too long.
Yep, it's hot.
This is now, as we head into June, it's time. I think we've mentioned in a previous video that we overstayed our welcome in the state of Florida, and Florida is now our domicile state, but it's getting a little warm, and it's time to start heading out. And we're looking at the Midwest, as we'll be heading up towards through Alabama, through Kentucky, through Tennessee, probably not in that order, but in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, working our way back down, heading into Texas for the winter, and then back over to Florida for the extreme winter. Look at this yacht. Okay,
so yeah, I choose that one still.
And then of course, you have these nice sailboats here. If I seem a little distracted, it's because this park, while it's beautiful, and over the Sarasota Bay and everything, there is a pretty good homeless population that keeps approaching for money and all that stuff. So you have a little bit of a weird dynamic, because here you have these $1 million yachts behind you, and then you have people coming over and asking for money. And it's kind of a thing. That's the other part is too, is when you're traveling full time, sometimes you don't do your research on places and you just happen to say, oh, something shiny, and you end up coming out here and you know, you could be putting yourself in a dangerous position. There's something I need to learn to do a little better job at is doing a little more research sometimes before you just pull over. But look at this. Very nice. Yeah. There's a nice walkway all around here. I would think if you're careful in what you do here, you can have actually a really good time. Seems to be a restaurant on the other side. Yeah. Well, we'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. Stay right there. Hey, Gary, now, something a little more lighthearted. As we were driving by, Sarasota is not disappointing us. I have one more surprise for you guys, but this one actually got me by surprise. Carrie pointed this out. We are here at Ed Smith Stadium, and this is the training camp of the Baltimore Orioles, as we understand it. And look at this. I'm going to get Poocha up high so you can see, but look at that. That is where they're training. Now, they also have a full stadium. We'll see if we can go over and take a look. But see, you can tell we're not Florida natives because I'm afraid that that's got gators right in that waterway. But there was only one gate open, so hopefully we're not trespassing. The no signage up that says you can't be here, but as we find out, we're not used to doing these types of videos, so you never know. But you can see this is the, look at this, Sarasota 365. You got the O's logo there. Actually pretty cool. The stadium on this side might be kind of hard to see, and I don't know if we'll actually be able to see any of it, but it's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize how many baseball teams come down here. I'm not a big baseball guy, but how many baseball teams come down here just to practice and whatnot. But as you can see, there's more the backside here, and the stadium is just off to the other side, which I can't really get to.
Hey,
but
you
you
go
can
through
see
the trees.
where they keep all the sand and they keep all the dirts and stuff that they take to make the mounds and whatnot. Now, I don't want to get in trouble for climbing up here.
Oh, there's stairs.
Stairs. So let me see if I can get in over here and just kind of get a peek. Now, this is one of those things where when I started doing YouTube with Carrie, I said I wanted to do urban exploration videos, right? Because I find this stuff fascinating, but at the same time, I don't like getting in trouble. But yeah, look at this. Look at that. That is the spring home of the Baltimore Orioles. Look at that. That's a nice looking stadium, Carrie. And you can see they're watering the grass to keep it all
Oh, wow.
set up. Yeah, pretty cool. So one of the things that, yeah, like when Carrie and I did start doing YouTube, I said, hey, I want to go in these abandoned buildings and do this stuff. And Carrie said, no way, Chuck, we're not doing that.
Penelope follows the rules.
And I said, my name's Bob. And she goes, you're going to be Chuck now. She's Penelope because she follows the rules. But there's a certain amount of, you know, nice things that you can see without, I'm quite sure that maybe going up there might not have been the coolest thing to do. But
yeah, it was.
at the same time, it was cool for us. But at the same time, you know, you're not really breaking any laws. And the most, they'll ask you to leave, right? You know, what are you going to do? But if you want to know, salespeople and vendors see by appointment only. So
we don't need an appointment then. See, it's all
but
good.
this is one of those things that are pretty cool. And I'll tell you, just because of the fact that I was here, I'd probably come back and buy a ticket to actually see a game here, should they ever open that up and let people like me in. But pretty cool thing nonetheless. Now we got one more thing we want to show you. We're going to wind down this video from Sarasota here. It's an interesting city, I'll say that. Normally we run into some pretty cool things and some pretty interesting people all the way. This has been an interesting mix here in Sarasota. Some people are very friendly. Some people aren't very friendly to outsiders, and it's kind of interesting because we're just two old people walking around with a GoPro. But anyhow, this next one seems to be pretty interesting to me anyway. We'll be right back. All right, Carrie, I got something for you, and I know walking you through a weird neighborhood, but what do you get when you cross these two iconic sayings? You get the shitter's full, and you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
The shitter's full, and it sure ain't Cousin Eddie.
All right, you get what's called Graceland South. I'm not going to go into great specifics as to where this is or anything, but the story goes that the gentleman who owns this house was born the same year as Elvis, and apparently liked his music so much it changed his whole life, becomes an Elvis impersonator.
That's so cool.
And then turns his home into Graceland's house, and he does all this here. Look at this, really cool. And they, I don't want to go, but this guy does such an amazing job that, and he's also an RVer, which makes it even cooler. But really, really cool. Wow. So,
Let's go, my hunka burning love.
without disrupting the neighborhood. So yeah, it's a really cool backstory. And I apologize for the sun being behind me, but sometimes I just can't help the position of the sun. Really cool story, and the fact that he was an RVer as well just makes it even better.
Ah, not Cousin Eddie.
Not Cousin Eddie, but yeah, it's a really cool story, and it's one of those things that when you start traveling, right, you need to get out, need to explore. And again, even if you're home, get out and explore your neighborhood, because there's all kinds of little quirky things that you may have just passed up. A perfect example is that Carrie and I lived in New Hampshire. We've walked the same route every day that we went for the big walk.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in that big walk, we noticed that there was a tree that we walked by 1,000 times. And it took one time with our youngest to realize that in the tree, just the bark had been beaten away and whatever, and it looked like a big owl's face. And it was like super cool, and it's like one that we've photographed like 1,000 times since then. But yeah, really cool and really quirky. So you gotta get out there, gotta do your thing. So before the police come and arrest us for wandering around strange neighborhoods, we're gonna cut the video here. I am Bob,
I'm Carrie.
and this has been Life Redesigned. We'll catch you guys in the next video.
Oh.